And good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing on this fantastic Friday morning? We're going to take a look at some charts. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin, FX, SPX, a few other things we're going to watch because this morning will be NFP. NFP comes in about an hour. So we're going to go through several different assets to look where we could potentially see a setup. There wasn't a whole lot going on this morning, and most pairs and including Bitcoin have already made their move. But we'll go ahead and discuss what happened yesterday on Bitcoin. I mean, yeah, if you guys are here, you know what happened, right? We ate a stop on a short and we were aiming for the lows, and we got some random market violence in the form of Coinbase news, got a big bullish spike, just took everybody out of the trade and then rolled over. We'll talk about that and much, much more. If you are new to the channel, welcome. This is the official Trade Talk channel where I show you how I analyze price for the most consistent and higher probable entries to help you all become better traders. So let's kick this thing off. All right, let me get that out of the way. Let me get over there. Perfect. Awesome. Danny is short pound dollar from 12165. Let's go take a look at it. 12165. It looks like you got short right around in there. I mean, you're okay. You see this candle right here? That was not ECB, but it was it was the pounds rate decision. You got a big candle like that. Now, I'm not expecting anything like that today on NFP. There's a bright screen incoming. Right here is what we're looking for, what happened last time, and what's being forecasted. So you can see that they're already forecasting a lower number. So, I mean, as far as getting any massive bearish news, you would have to be like in the sub 100,000s, I'd say. But there's a couple other numbers that come out and can usually do affect price. It's not just that number in itself. Also, we have CAD data. Unemployment rate comes out for that as well. So we'll probably keep an eye on CAD or USD CAD, pound, dollar, and Euro USD. Those are going to be the three that we're most looking at, or the three that we're looking at the most. Let me get some other charts up over here on this other monitor so I can do this right. Just bear with me. All right, let me get Euro on this one. So the reason why I'm kind of looking at Euro, see, also this is the thing on pound. Euro did the same exact thing. You're in a tight range. So since you put in this move yesterday, you basically have been trading sideways to down. It's not a big expansion, but usually the day after a big move like that, you will have not that much of a move, right? It'll be like a small inside day. If you come over here and look, you're going to see that that's a big wick outside day, and currently we're trading as an inside day. So you took out this candle's high and this candle's low with this candle, and now today you are currently trading inside of that candle, and it's a small range. So it is possible for this whole entire range to be smoked, right? Wick up, then go down, or wick down, then go up. I'm not really looking for it to go down as much because it has already taken out the low. So this is a new daily low here. So if anything, we'll probably watch this for a quick spike down and then look for the upside on that. And then the same goes for Euro. Just give me a second so I can get this stuff up and ready. All right, so we'll put SPX over here. All right, we got plenty of time, so there's no reason to rush this morning. But as far as your short trade, Danny, I mean, it looks like it's doing fine. I would probably really honestly think about taking profits because you're at support, right? You took out support there. So with this candle, you actually took out support and made a lower low. Then you got a bullish reaction. So it's not a massive bullish reaction by any means, and the selling can continue from there 100%. But if it was me with a big news event coming up, I would definitely be taking profits and moving my stop to break even. because if it is a big beat or even a big miss, it will be simple for a price to spike up above this swing high. All right. And then that would automatically take you out of the trade. So that's what I would do, right? Obviously, I can't tell you what to do, but if it was me, that's what I would do. And if we go over here and look at Euro USD, it's going to be our second asset to watch. This one's actually my favorite one to watch because the high side to liquidate ain't that far. It's not as far as the pounds. If you come over here and look what you got going on here, I mean, it's essentially piano keys, right? It's not going anywhere for days and days and days. So you put in this nice bullish candle, then you trade it as an inside week, and then finally this week we took out the previous 2 weeks highs, but then we got a rejection. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? Here's your outside day. This right here is the candle that took out all these swing highs. You got a bearish engulfing. Then you found support. You traded back up. So, I mean, it looks like the move is wanting to go lower, but it just could not get below daily support. So, we don't know, right? The way we can look at this is maybe this, if this was going to be a liquidity run, because it served its purpose. I mean, if you pull this line over here to that swing high, that is that, you know, the second and third week is inside of this candle. This candle took out all the highs. You got a big bearish reaction. 3 days later, we're trading right back up to resistance almost, right? So, I mean, it's definitely difficult to get a direction. Here you are on the 50 on this bullish candle, closed under the 50, put you back under the 50. 3 days later, you're back at the 50. All right. So it's difficult, but it to me looks like it maybe want to go up. Yesterday, we got a close above the 21 exponential moving average. Let's get rid of the 200. We don't need that. There we go. There we go. All right. So the 21 exponential. I only look at 21 or EMAs or moving averages on the daily time frame or weekly, right? So you can see that it struggled for many days. A lot of bots take positions based off of this 21 exponential. It is a quicker and more reactive moving average. You know, it takes into consideration all price. So it's a little bit quicker, and, you know, people will sell it. As long as you're under it, people will sell it. I'm included in that. And if you're above it, then, you know, we look to buy it. Now, it does look like you got this close here. That was the first day you closed above it. Then you closed back below it. Now you're back over it. So, I mean, this is the exact definition of a choppy sideways market. And it is very difficult to trade this because you don't really have much to look at, right? But we currently do have a little bit of things to look at. So I have daily res and daily supply. So when we traded back up into this level, that should have acted as supply. It did not. It closed above. And then this morning, we've already came in. We've already retested it. And we are currently trying to trade away from it. All right. So it's a little bit tricky this morning. I would much rather have something that was quite obvious, like the pound the other day. That was more than obvious. This trade here, we were looking for the swing highs to get liquidated. That happened in the span of 5 minutes, and then you would have, you know, taken the sell. So that's that. Aussie dollar is currently, we're still short Aussie dollar. Our shorts from up there. Yesterday we had, you know, a little bit of nothingness going on, and today we are kind of trading away. You're into a bit of intraday support. So we'll see what happens here. And then here is USD CAD. Already liquidated the swing high. Already. So like if we were trading around 128, 801-ish, I would be looking for the swing high. We've already taken it out this morning. So, I mean, not a lot in the way of setups. You're at the high of day. This, you're at the low of day. You're in the middle of the range. So, like, not a big range, but you are trading in the middle of it. So if anything, this is going to be one of our favorites. This is at, pretty close to the lows. USD CAD's at the highs, Aussie Yen at the lows, USD JPY in the middle. So we could keep an eye on this one as well. I am short this one, so I'll have to trade it on a different broker. All right, so let's see. And SPX was bullish when Bitcoin was bearish, and then SPX been basing up here, and the reason why it's basing is this level right there, weekly res. We were looking for a short on it the other day when we traded up to it. Oh, where's it over here? No, that's the daily. Shit. Here we go. All right, so we were kind of looking for a short here when we traded up into weekly res for that first initial bounce, because it's the first time you tag a big level like that. So typically you can get a bounce trade off of it. You're not looking for bearish continuation because the asset is bullish. Every signal, every indicator you look at shows you just how bullish this asset is. I mean, you're damn near oversold on the daily, and you are back above the 50 on the weekly, right? That's bullish, right? The 50, if you think of the 50 as a neutral zone, anything under that being bearish, and then anything above that being bullish, just tells you where the momentum is. I mean, sometimes it's not as easy to just look at the chart and get a directional bias, right? If you look at the long term, this is obviously in a downtrend, and the macro environment's terrible. So it's a short, right? Well, it was until we got back above the 21 exponential moving average, and there it is. And the 21 has been caressing it all the way up. So it is likely, it is possible that we get a pullback here because it is the weekly. But we've literally went nowhere in the last 2 days. Now, the reason we didn't see a big range yesterday could be because of today, right? And yesterday, there is a swing high to liquidate. So what we can do is we can watch for that would be a big spike. Yeah, that would be a monster of a spike. So it probably wouldn't happen like that. So what we could probably do is just kind of watch to see if the SPX liquidates the swing low, then we can aim at the swing high. If the news is bullish for the SPX. If the news is bearish, then we'll look for the opposite trade. But you can see how it's a small range day, but it's still a pretty good piece away from near-term price. But you're dead smack in the middle of your targets. So this was going to be your bullish target. This is going to be your bearish target. There, right? And you're like damn center. All right, that's that. Mr. Bitcoin. Lovely. Already pushing up, already getting bullish. You're going to come into an area of resistance every time price has gotten up here. It has been swatted back to the downside. You only have this. We'll leave yesterday's high there. And then nothing over here. All right, so on the 12-hour, you are into resistance. Right there. So, can we take a short and just look for a test of this candle or something like that? I don't think so, because I'm bullish again. We had a short bias on Bitcoin on yesterday and the day before. So Wednesday and Thursday, we were looking for short bias, or we were looking for the short trade to continue. Let's get rid of yesterday's high. It is no longer relevant. Yeah, we were looking for the short trade to continue, and it did, but it spiked us out. And then this day, we were looking for a short simply because of how price reacted once it made a fresh weekly high and a fresh monthly high. That's key. Just taking out the swing highs up here and then getting a bearish reaction like that wouldn't really make a difference to me. What made the difference was it was a fresh weekly and monthly high, and then you got that kind of reaction. So we were looking for shorts, but it traded sideways literally all day, and then at 4 o'clock p.m., we rolled over. That's like literally in the middle of nowhere. 4 o'clock isn't any session. It's not the London, it's not the Asian, it's not New York. It's just like dead space. In fact, at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all Forex brokers spreads widen because it's considered I don't know what you would call it, a doldrum state or whatever. There's just no liquidity at that time. That's why your spread widens up and you get big wicks occasionally at 5 and 6 o'clock. 8 p.m. Eastern Time is when the Asian session opens. So this thing rolled over. So we were looking for downside continuation yesterday, and our targets were these swing lows. Now, this white line is the weekly open. It is the area of support that we've been looking for since Saturday. When I put out Saturday's upload, I was saying we're going to wait for price to pull back into this level right here, and we're going to see if that level acts as support. You can see there are 2 wicks here. 1 test, 2 test of the level, traded away. So liquidity was under that and that as well. So what we were looking for yesterday was our primary target was going to be this white line, and then we had a secondary target of this down here. And the way we had the trade set up was simple. We were risking small and we were making, pretty large. It was like a 1 to 3 risk to reward. We got the random market violence, the news from Coinbase spiked us out, and then boom, rolled over and hit our targets perfectly. Right? Basically, I put out a tweet yesterday. Let's go look at it. Right here. So this is what I was looking for, right? Liquidity, liquidity, liquidity. This is why I was targeting this, right? So target this, see price come down. Once it takes out the liquidity, if it's going to be bullish, we want to see it regain this range, right? I wanted to see it come in, retest next week's open. I was kind of hoping we'd be trading around that this morning, but I woke up and we're right up in here now already. So Bitcoin is doing exactly what we got right here. And this was yesterday. I tweeted this. Basically, if you would have closed the daily up under that, we would have been looking for downside continuation. Right? So, it's playing out. We've been all over this asset all week long. The first 2 days, we took trades live on stream. Both of those worked. So, in the next 2 days, we were bearish. Neither one of those trades worked, but we were on the right side of the market. Right? And now we have today. So we've been all over this thing all week long. A lot more accurate than anybody else. But accuracy means nothing if you cannot translate that to positive P&L. And that's why you're here. So we're going to try to do that this morning. So thank you all so much for being here first and foremost. Before we get into any more of this, I just want to say thank you all. And let's do this. So Bitcoin's moving up. More than likely, there's not going to be a trade on it. All right. If you want to watch intraday resistance up here, go ahead. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not taking that short. And it's simple, right? It's bullish. We did exactly what I wanted to see. We liquidated both sides of the market. This was the first liquidation. It liquidated the top side of the market. So any shorts looking for the swing high of the week and the swing high of the month, those guys were taken out. Then we come down here and we smoke any longs. Then we get our move. Once the liquidity has been smoked on both sides of the market, then you typically get your move. And more than likely, you're going to see this thing continue. We'll probably be trading at 23.85 or 23.86 by Monday, by noon Monday. All right, it could happen today, but it's already had a pretty good size move. It's only up 3%, so it's not a huge move, but 3% on Bitcoin is becoming, more and more people get into it. It's becoming more and more of a bigger move. Used to 3% on Bitcoin was nothing. We've seen Bitcoin move 10, 15, 20% in the span of a day. You don't get that very often anymore. 10% down day on Bitcoin we got when we were in the bear market, right in the throes of it. But that was even a big day. But we've seen this thing do a lot crazier stuff. So we'll see what happens here. But these days weren't really bearish. If you just count how many days you have here, it's almost the same amount of days you have here, and you can see the difference in the span of the range, how far it reached. these days didn't do literally anything. Like, these are very small range bound days that, is trending lower with each and every close. But yeah. And this day was a bullish engulfing all the way up until 4 p.m. At 4 p.m. it rolled over and closed bearish. So yeah, we're going to keep an eye on it. That is intraday resistance. That's the only place that I can see a short trade even being justified. And if you think the range is going to continue, then watch that. You also have a resistance level right here. You got 8 minutes left on that candle's close. So we'll see where that ends up doing, what that ends up doing. You are into 4-hour supply. Right now, you're in the 4-hour supply. So if I was going to do it, or if I was going to watch it, I would probably put more emphasis on the 4-hour candle. And there's 8 minutes left on this closure as well. So this is going to be a big 8 minutes here. Greetings, Trade Talking, everyone. Good morning, Belthus, Tanko. Morning, buddy. Good morning, Ahmed, Carlos, Chris, Googleplex, Deans, Vin, Chris, Dylan, Slothbag, John, or Yawn, sorry. Boom shakalaka traders. All right, good. I feel like I should buy puts on the SPY for Q4 and Q1 2023 to hedge a downturn. All right, so here's something else that I posted this morning. I stole it from somebody else on Twitter, someone I don't even follow, so I kind of feel shady about that. But it doesn't matter. I liked it, so I posted it. If you look at this chart, 15% plus quarterly drops for the S&P 500 post-World War II era. So literally every bear market that's seen a 15% plus drop. And it shows you, like, this chart is manipulative, right? It looks like, anytime you've had a 15% drop, you've been bullish the next quarter and then up the next year really good. But this doesn't take into account the 2 or 3 years that it traded down. Right? So what this is doing is this is picking the bottom. This is the bottom of all these terrible markets. All of them. 08 lasted for a couple years. 2000, September 2000, the dot-com bubble, that started in 2000 and ended in 03. So that bear market was 3 years long, and this only picks the last quarter of it. All right. So it's a little bit manipulative, but this is kind of what we're looking for. Let's go look at the SPX, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking here. So a lot of things. Inflation is what caused the bear market. We know that, right? It was inflation. The Fed said it was transitory. We found out that it is not transitory because, let's be honest, it's been rising ever since we started it. Like, it's been doing it for like all year. And last month, July's CPI print was 9.1%. That's the highest ever in like the last 40 years. So it's still trending up, but the market's reacting bullish. And people are calling this a bear market rally. This was a bear market rally. You see how aggressive it was to the upside, taking out resistances, basically turning around and no man's land. That was a bear market rally. This is different. You see how slow and methodical it is, right? You traded in this range down here for a couple, 3 weeks. Then you broke out, came back in for a pullback, and now you're trading up into the next weekly resistance. And you're trading at it, and you have been at it for 3 days. This looks more bullish to me than it does bearish. Let's see if we got declining volume. You got declining volume. See how volume declines? Declining volume is associated with a bullish market. In bearish markets, you have ascending. Excuse me. Let me clear my throat. All right. I'm back. So in bearish markets, you typically, you like to see the ascending volume. In bull markets, you want to see declining volume, right? So is it a bear market rally? Obviously, no one's going to be able to tell that until, we've had enough time to pass. Do we revisit these lows? Do we set new all-time highs next year or the year after? If we do that, then this will be the bear market low. But a lot of us have already began to position ourselves for that. So since there's no indicator in the world that'll tell us if this is the bear market low, we have to essentially assume that it is, right? We have to trade against the narrative. Most of your influencers, most of them, the ones that, needed Bitcoin to be off 50% before they could even say, yeah, something's different here, before they even stopped being bullish. Well, we were taking profits to the downside then, right? 26K was our bear market target. It was hit. Now they're still bearish. They think this is a dead cat bounce or bear market rally. So we have to change that, right? We think outside of the box. And there's several indicators that are marking a bottom on Bitcoin. And it doesn't mean it will, because past performance is never indicative of future results. But I mean, yeah, a lot of things we've been looking at on Bitcoin. Now, this rise has not been very big, to say the least. But there are several things that you can look at. For instance, one being your oversold reading on the RSI, right? Anytime Bitcoin has hit oversold on the weekly RSI, it has typically been the bear market low. Oversold, bear market low, and we hit oversold again. So, yeah, it's happened twice before, right? You were oversold. This one came into oversold, but not quite oversold, and then this one is the one that called the low. But we were more oversold than we've ever been in history on Bitcoin. So typically, we don't have much data on Bitcoin. It's 12 years old. We have we have a halving every 4 years. So there's 3 phases or 3 market cycles. We're in the last one. When we get our halving, that will be the end of this market cycle. So whenever we took out, the all-time high, well, the halving was when? Right in here somewhere? Right in there? That's when we had our halving, and then you got your or bull market rally. And it's happened like that every single time. That's why people call it 4-year market cycles and cycle theory and all this other things, right? So you got to have a bear market low before the halving. Well, the halving's not until next 2024. So it seems a bit early to call a bear market low if you're looking at cycle data. But if you're looking at price and price indicators, this is the place to buy. And then there is another metric on Glassnode called the MVRVZ score. We were waiting for that to get into undervalued. Once you get undervalued, that has typically been the best place to be a buyer. And we hit that, and we told everybody to just wait to be bullish until the MVRVZ score gets into undervalued. And that has played out perfectly. So when we were here on price action through this range up here, people were calling that the bear market low. We weren't here. We were looking for it to trade down into the green zone, which is known as undervalued. And every single time in Bitcoin's history, when it has hit undervalued, it has been the best place to buy, no matter which market cycle you're looking at. Obviously, you can't go by prices on Bitcoin because it has such massive fluctuations. But undervalued has in the past, historical data shows us that this has been the best place to buy. And there's other things, right? Your realized price, which the MVRVZ score is nothing but market cap and this combined to come up with that oscillator. And, this is a little bit different. This price has been under realized price for a long time in many cases. But typically, it rides under Bitcoin. And we came down under there, and we're currently over it again. But, it is possible that we get another stab lower, guys. But there's a lot of metrics on chain and off chain, looking at other metrics that say that this was probably your capitulation right there, that last stab lower. More than likely. But we'll see, right? Only time will tell. So we won't know until then. But we have been treating this like it is the bear market low, and we did get long. We bought the July low. So if I pull up the monthly here, we bought down in here. So what really sucks about buying the July low is we haven't went anywhere. The size of this candle would suggest that there will be more downside, right? Because it's not even a midpoint check of this downside candle. So like this does look, not great, but who's to say that in August you don't get a big candle? Now, historically, August, September has been, pretty bad for risk. Like, have you ever heard the old saying, sell in May, go away? Well, that's, it typically is down months. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue to watch monthly support. It's down here. It doesn't line up with any weeklies, dailies, or 3 days. So it's kind of like out there all by itself. I like it when I get confluence, but I don't have that. But we'll watch this. If we close a monthly under it, then obviously we're not done yet, and we'll look for that final 13 that stabbed at 13.8, and that's just simply yearly resistance. All right. Hopefully that clears up everything and helps everybody. If you're looking for downside trades when a market is already off over 60%, you're likely to get hurt. This market is down 65%. Now, I understand that you can still go down 99.9999% every single day until it hits zero. However, with that being said, is that likely? No. What is more likely that this is probably going to be the low or really close to the low. Either way, it's a good place to buy using historical data. So that's what we've done. We have become a buyer. We just have not been able to get anything going. It literally is not doing anything. As far as it being a bear flag, you have now outsized your flagpole. I mean, if anything, it's more of a channel than it is a flag, right? More of a ascending channel or a descending. Ascending channel. Let's go ahead and just clone this line and get it up there. Boom. So that's basically what you're looking at. Something like that. And according to the Bollinger Bands and other oscillators or other indicators, there is more downside. There is a lot more downside than upside if you look at probabilities. The problem is the bears couldn't get anything going. Neither could the bulls. So we're kind of in a stalemate. I basically said when we put in this low down here that from now on I'm going to be looking for small ranges sideways, very slow price action because it annoys people. For the next 6 months, we may trade exactly like this. So be prepared for it. Get ready for it. Buy every time you come into $19,000. That's what I'm going to do. If it gets back to $19,000 tomorrow, I will be a buyer. But not with 100x leverage. No leverage. I'm talking about the HODL position. We trade the inverse swap contract. That helps us accumulate more Bitcoin. And we don't do that on 100x either. Very expensive when it comes to fees. And also, you just need a 1% move against you in order to wipe out your entire account. But I think if you, I just got on a tirade of a rant. You want to buy puts on the SPY, just understand that we're not bearish. It doesn't mean that you can't be. And I know what puts are, right? I know it's for protection. But if we come over here, and I keep coming to a Glassnode, I realize that it's on-chain data for Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is traded as a risk asset. And we can look at a few things to determine if now is a good time to buy puts or not, just by coming down here and looking at our open interest put to call ratio, right? If this is trending up, then it's a good time to buy puts. If it's not, then it's not. This is why I've been bullish also, because professional traders know when it's time to hedge. They are not doing it. Look at the puts. Put to call ratio is down. That means they're buying more calls or selling. We don't know if it's buying or selling. It's just more open interest, right? We don't know if it's buying or selling. We just know that they have taken an interest in the premium one way or the other. So it's down. The put to call ratio is down. That means no one thinks the market's going lower. Well, no one else, smart people, or whoever controls the put market in Bitcoin, they're not buying puts, in other words, for downside. They're probably buying calls. So I don't know if I would buy puts on the SPX. If you're just buying puts for a trade, then yeah, maybe you do get a rejection here. You've been here for 3 days, so if it's going to reject, I would want to start to see that happen right now, preferably today with the news event. So essentially what I'd want to see if I was going to look for more downside is I would want to see a wick up to smoke these last 2 days as highs. Boom, boom. And then reverse, right? So if you're going to buy puts, well, the market won't be open, so you won't be able to buy puts on them by the time the news comes. By the time the market opens, the news will have already come and gone an hour. So, I mean, if you're going to buy them above around $4,200. That, pretty much protects you. But don't buy a lot. People buy puts the wrong way. They sink every dollar into their account into them, and then when they lose it all, it's like, what happened? Just however much money you have in your account, buy to make it 1 to 2% of your total capital. So that way, if you're wrong, then you're good, because a put can options. The thing about options is they can easily hit 100%, right? Easily. So one put is literally could save your whole account, depending on the size of it. Because I have made options plays that were almost 1,000% myself, right? So options will explode in value if you're right. And in downside markets, typically they will explode in value because the VIX goes up, and the VIX is another one of those Greeks inside of the options pricing model. It is Vega. VIX is Vega. And if we go down and look at VIX, you were at the lows, then you got to bounce. Now you're back at the lows. That's typically not bearish. That is not bearish, guys. I know people are saying that, this is support, so now the VIX is going to go right up on in there and have a blow off top. And, I even said that when we were pushing, right? When we were pushing, I said that. But then this happened. It's different. This year is different. The market is doing different shit. The Japanese yen and the Swiss franc are both risk-off assets. Both of them were killed during this risk-off cycle. So things are different, a lot different. So what I mean by that is we don't necessarily need to see the VIX explode with a blow-off top in order to call the bear market low. It would be nice, right? It would be nice, but it doesn't have to happen. Keep that in mind. So when you see people on Twitter and YouTube say, oh, this ain't the bear market low because we didn't have a blow-off top, just remember what I just said. It does not have to happen. This is a traded asset. The value of this moves based on trades being taken in it. Whether it's calls being purchased, whether it's puts being purchased, whether it's, them selling calls. This is a hedging mechanism. And what you can see is they are not buying this to hedge downside. The only asset that we know, that the money ran to is this. Year to date, this is up. So this is where everybody put their money. Everybody put their money in the dollar. So things are different this year. It would be nice if we do get a blow off top and stuff, because then, that probably would signal a bottom. And it has in the past, right? It has in the past. But right now, your VIX are down. VIX is down. And it's down big. I mean, this isn't considered anything. $21 on a VIX it used to be extremely volatile before the pandemic, because during the pandemic we hit prices of $80. But now it really has been muted, and it's also an oscillator. So stop looking for bear flags and bull flags and head and shoulders and stuff like that on this, because this isn't a trending asset. It is an oscillator. It oscillates up, down, up, down, like an RSI. So there is no patterns to be found on the VIX. All right, we got 20 minutes until the news. Let me get Daily FX pulled up here so that way I can monitor the number. If you guys have your favorite, whatever your favorite news thing is to monitor the number, go on ahead and use it if you wish. We're going to get the number a lot. It's going to be It's going to be delayed on stream, so. And we're not really wanting to take a position right at the number either. We are looking to see if our R4 assets does something different. So let's pull them up. Damn it. There's that one. What do we want over here? We want euro. And we definitely don't want the weekly. And then up here we'll take what? Pound dollar. Beautiful. Good morning, buddy. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, traders. Nice, another live stream. Watch all the stream yesterday. Thank you for that. Oh wow, look, the bots are here. Thank you so much for killing that, Wes. Go ahead and boot that. I don't know why they even put a report button on people. It's not like they do anything. It's not like they can do anything with the amount of bots that are out there. It's like impossible. Do ants sleep? Not the ones that I fight with. They're always awake and they're always in the house. Unless I spray them, then they die. But yeah, I'm not really sure if they sleep or not. Not really sure how that's relevant either. But there might be a reason. So you did close above the hourly res there. I mean, we're bullish on Bitcoin now until it breaks out, right? Or gets back under the weekly open, last week's open. I just see this thing breaking out, right? I mean, it's been here for a while. This range has been here literally all week. So, time to do something. Let's see what it does. And we got pound there, euro there, SPX there. SPX got a nice bullish rip last hour. Nice bullish close. Into a little bit of supply there. And then the euro right dead in the middle of the range. So on the euro, if it's bullish news for the dollar, we'll probably look for the euro to spike up above this. And then we can take a sell trade if it gets back under it. I hate this white. I don't know why I did that. Why would you do such a thing? Now I gotta change the damn candle colors. Oh man, what have you done? What have you done? We'll just do this real quick. There we go. It's not the prettiest of charts, but it'll have to do for now. So, I mean, there's really nothing else on it to do or to look at. I don't think it's going to get all the way up there, but I mean, anything is possible. Anything is possible. On the daily, were we above or below the 20? We're right at the 50, I mean. What is this? Get gone. At the 50. All right. At the 50. All right. So if we spike down on the lows, then we're gonna be buyers, right? If we spike up on the highs, we're gonna be sellers. It's as simple as that on the euro. Because it's at the 50, so there's a good possibility that it's trying to break out to the bullish side on the daily time frame. And then again, you know, we could get the news and it does nothing. Unemployment change for the U.S. Non Farm Payrolls forecast 250,000. Last month we hit 372. We got 15 minutes left. Let me pull out the dollar. Or no, let's keep the SPX up. Let me see my calendar here. So July the 1st was the last NFP we had. So this day here, nothing special from NFP, the last NFP. And that was with a big hit, like 372. That's a lot of jobs. But we did get several bullish days after, right? And I could be wrong, but according to my calendar, it looks like it was on the 1st. NFP is the first week of every month, the first Friday in every month. Last July Friday was the 1st. All right. Let me see if there's any questions. Cool stream. Thanks. You're welcome. What's considered a good, bad number for NFP? Anything, well, its forecast is 250. So anything above 250 is good. Anything below is bad. But there's other numbers too that this thing that I'm looking at doesn't tell me. So, I mean, and I don't have any news outlets anymore, not on this computer. I got rid of Benzinga because I really didn't use it. But now would be a good time to have it. So if you have Benzinga, turn it on. Because then they call out all the numbers, everything that happens. Alls we're going to get is unemployment rate change, which previous was 3.6, and the unemployment rate is still supposed to be 3.6 is the forecast. So unemployment is still low, right? It's still low. The Fed's is okay with it getting as high as 4, a little bit over 4%. So on that number, a higher number, so like 3.7 is, it's not bad, but it means more unemployment, and 3.5 is lower. So it's kind of the opposite, I guess you could say. Is bad news from NFP good news for risk assets? Typically, bad news for NFP or like a bad job number is bad on the SPX. It's different because dollar is the reserve currency. And, those things, they don't trade 100% inversely. So the dollar can have a bullish day, and so can the SPX and Bitcoin and everything else, right? Just because the dollar has a bullish day doesn't mean that the others can't. Typically, it doesn't work out like that, but it could, right? So we don't really care about the number because we essentially have a plan in place. And what's going to happen is the first 5 minutes, you're going to see a spike in one direction or the other. And then depending on the size of the spike, will let you know if it's bad or good news. Really and truly. So, like, given what we know on the euro, its history and everything, we're probably looking for a breakout because we were at the 50 a couple days ago. We got a bearish candle, a bearish engulfing, and now we're right back at it again. Now, is it possible that it holds as resistance again and then it rolls over? Yeah, it's possible, 100%. And bad news could help that, right? Bad news could help that. But we'll see. We don't have US dollar CAD up. So let's look at US dollar CAD instead of pound, because I think that's the most relevant, right? Because we got CAD data coming out as well. Employment change and unemployment rate for CAD. CAD's already liquidated the highs before the news, which is messed up, man. Because I wanted to get a trade in today during NFP. And we're bullish Bitcoin, so we don't want to see a spike, an initial spike up. There's really nothing to liquidate on Bitcoin except for this. This is your weekly high right there. So that more than likely would be the target. So we can look for a quick spike to the downside on the coin. And then maybe it tags support and then starts to reject back up. Or if you get that quick spike to the upside, liquidate that, and then you start to fall, then we'll look for shorts. But normally, like, even though if we get a big move during NFP, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the way the market's going to go next week, right? Because we have seen non-farm payrolls have a move Friday, like a big day all day, and then Monday comes and it gets completely annihilated. So it takes a little bit for the market to digest it, but if there is a tradable event, we will trade it live in front of you guys. And then over on this chart, I'll pull up other assets. I'll put the pound over there. Put the Aussie dollar over there. Let me get that on 1 hour. What else? NZD. I didn't even look at NZD. Let's go. Let me look at NZD real quick with y'all here. I didn't even look at it. Maybe that's the trade. Maybe that's the trade. That is strange. It's sideways as well. See, this looks almost identical to the euro, but this one looks almost more of a sell. You're above the 50 on the RSI on this one. It doesn't mean that it's going to be bullish, though. It's just an indicator. And you're above the 21, so you got to look for bullish entries on this thing. All right, so we're going to look for a spike lower. We're going to look to buy that. And we do have a liquidity zone here on the NZD. So we get a spike under that, we could buy it. If we buy it when price gets back up above it. We'll just take a long entry there. And then USD CAD there, Bitcoin there, SPX. What do y'all want to watch? Do you want to watch NZD or do you want to watch Euro? I'll leave it up to you. It's your decision. The NZD is completely opposite to Euro. It's already bullish. So you tell me. NZD or Euro? Because I can watch it on the other monitor. I'll just put NZD over there. NZD, I vote. You're the only one that's voted, so you win. Bitcoin and Euro USD. Whatever you reckon's the best play. Well, it's odd. I'll say that for sure. USD, this is bullish too, but that's the hourly. Let's get off the hourly real quick. We're running up on the news. This looks exactly like the euro. It's trading at daily res currently, right now. You're at the 50 right now. And you're fighting with the 21 right now. So there's like all of these markets are at like pivotal places. Euro, NZD, food, Euro. I'm long Litecoin, GPD, or yeah, you're still short. Euro, it looks like there's more euros. So let's throw Euro back up, and I'll watch NZD on the other monitor. We don't have to watch the SPX if you don't want to, because not many Americans can trade the CFD, and if we want to trade it, we have to wait until 9:30 for the market to open. So there's really nothing I can do on the SPX. I just like to watch it. And you can see that Bitcoin and the SPX are not trading similar. SPX is in a tight range. Bitcoin, well, I guess it is similar. That is a tight range for Bitcoin as well. So yeah, they are similar, but not exact. 5 minutes incoming. Ford, AMC, Eli, Effie. We'll look at other things after the news. I'm not gonna hang up, or I'm not gonna get off the stream right after the news. We'll stay on until 10ish. So after the news, after the trade, we'll look at AMC and Ford for you, because they're not open, right? It's not open, so there's nothing you can do anyways. And they got pound dollar, Aussie dollar, and NZD up on the other screen. If I put all 8 on one monitor, it'll be so damn small you won't even be able to see it. So, yeah, we'll just leave it like this. I don't have a great big giant monitor. I have 3 27-inch monitors. Well, 4 if you count the laptop. AMC is at almost 1 million shares pre-market. So obviously people are trading it for some reason. We'll look at it after the news. We got 5 minutes until the news. 5 minutes. So NZD looks like it's a long. Euro USD looks like it's a short, according to the indicators. But they're both traded against the dollar, so they'll both move in about the same direction. Obviously, Euro's going to be most affected because it is the most inverse pair to the dollar, being almost 60% or a little over 60%. Aussie dollar is trading at the low of day. So a spike lower on Aussie dollar wouldn't look good or bode well for my short trade. Because I'm still short in it, but I'm short at 0.70411. So I'm short like at the top. Depending on the news, we could get a big spike. We'll just look at the hourly charts. There's no point in putting on a 5-minute chart, as the hourly can show us where our levels are specifically. Let's go ahead, since we got a couple minutes, get a daily level up here. We don't need that high. We got weekly res. That's right where we want it. And we got this old resistance there. So those are the 3 levels that we need to watch on the SPX. Intraday support is there at 41.40. 4 minutes. And I'll have to refresh that screen more than likely. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. ETH's such a better asset. It does move a little bit more. Yeah, ETH is up 6.8%. Bitcoin is up 3.4%. It is up a lot. It is up higher or more. So that would have been a better trading opportunity, no doubt. No doubt. I wouldn't go as far as say it's a better asset, but today it is. Somebody said something similar to that in one of my last streams as well. And basically, ETH was down 0.8% on the day that Bitcoin was up 1.6%. So it's just, it fluctuates from day to day. I think ETH as a network may be, a little bit better, but who am I to say, right? I'm not an on-chain guy. I am a price analyst. AMC gives Ape NFT to hodlers. Gotcha. Short ETH here too. Let me go ahead and put ETH up on the other monitor, because I have Bitcoin up on this one. Yeah, ETH's up big. 6-point-something% on the day. But it doesn't look the same as Bitcoin either. It's still trading inside of last week's range. ETH is. Yeah, ETH is trading inside last week's range. And so is Bitcoin. ETH's already had such a big move. I mean, today, I don't think I'd be wanting to short it either, because it's stepping in front of a locomotive. Ooh, I got it on watch. The news is in 1 minute. What about the DXY? Yeah, I got it pulled up over on the other monitor. All you gotta do is literally watch Euro, and it's 60%. So it's almost the same. It's just inverse. And hopefully I'll get the news. So remember, we're just kind of looking for Euro to potentially break out. So a spike under the lows and then up. All right, here we go. Up first. Down first. Down first. So you can watch that. If it continues, then it's going to be bad. I don't have any numbers yet. I still don't have any numbers. But we can see right now that it's bullish dollar, right? But the SPY just liquidated, so now we look to see if the SPY gets up. If it continues lower, then you don't take the long. Euro liquidated a lot of stuff, and NZD is down. So NZD is down. If it would have been under it, I would have been much more happy with potentially taking that short. But we didn't spike up. We just went straight down. And you're liquidating most everybody. Bitcoin jumped right down to the support we were talking about. So, you would probably be looking to buy Bitcoin. It's a big wick, or it's a big 5-minute candle. Weekly res is held. You have broken down. I wouldn't be looking to buy this if it got back above that instantly. Bitcoin didn't get that big of a move at all, which is good. That looks good for bullish Bitcoin. We've liquidated quite a bit of stuff on USD CAD, but still moving higher. It looks like it's swinging up for the fences. Up to the fences, man. Bitcoin potentially holding support. I would love to get a tag of support and not just a tag of that supply or demand level there. All right, so now we want to see Bitcoin hold support, but the SPX is still cruising to the downside. It just made a fresh daily low. So it's beginning to look a lot less like liquidation. But it is a pullback. It is still struggling, or still looking a little bit bullish. Now Bitcoin hit support. Right there was your support tag. Just looking around here. Big move lower on Bitcoin. It's looking bad. Didn't really give us anything at all. You're still at intraday support on Bitcoin. Do we take a long on Bitcoin at support? I mean, that's what it looks like on the 5-minute. 23,133, that is on the Coinbase chart for that level on Bitget is 23,135. Let me put a ray on it, or a horizontal ray, so I know exactly what it is. There is the move up at support. Support on Bitget is 23,135. If you were to get long on Bitcoin at that support level, your stop would be setting at 23,098.50. That gets you under this swing low over here. 23,098.50. Since we liquidated that swing high, we can go ahead and potentially short USD CAD. Let's sell limit 129,411. And we want a stop loss of 15 pips. And we want to risk 1%. And we just set that limit there. See if we get a fill. SPX still pushing lower. Oh shit, that's the wrong one. There's really nothing down there on the SPX. I mean, that's going to be demand there, and you're well under it. Not well under it, you're right under it. Bitcoin had a big move last night. Big move. So it's natural to see a little bit of a pullback. ETH is not gotten clobbered. ETH doesn't look as bad. Is it going to fill me? No, it did not fill me. If you're curious as to why, it has to get 3 pips above my limit in order to fill it. There is the fillage there. It's, not a very smart thing to do, but that's what I'm taking it based on right there. If you're going to have bullish continuation, I will be stopped out. But once we liquidate that, if it is going to be bearish the next couple days, then that would be a good spot to get short, simply because of the liquidation, right? Bitcoin pushing lower, but the support is still intact. 23,135 and then 23,133. That's cool. That's the first time that the hourly resistance levels on Coinbase and Bitget were so close. $2. So close. High NFP. I still don't have the numbers. There they are. We got a big number. 528K. Oh my God, that's like almost double. And then 3.5 on the job loss. That's on unemployment. So we got a lower tick on unemployment, which is bullish dollar. Be very careful. But the market might buy the pullback. I don't see why higher jobs and all that is bad for the SPX. All right. Typically, you would think that that would be a good thing. Bitget trying to break under support currently. So if you, like I said, if you're buying this support on Bitcoin, your stop needs to be under this swing low, and do not risk more than 1% capital. Do not do it, because that's a high number. And that you could see dollar continuation. Yes. Canada's, they had a miss. Well, it says 30.6K, but oh yeah, that's why it's a miss. They were forecasting positive 20,000 jobs. They actually got negative 30,000. Nice. Big beat on CAD. So that's bearish Canadian dollar. So that's why we got such a massive spike. That would be bearish CAD. And unemployment is 4.9%. So it was previous there. They were forecasting 5. So that's a beat. Just by a 0.1%. 520, yeah, way above expectations. The expectations on NFP was way lower than that. It's 250K. Bitcoin's still struggling at resistance, but we'll see if it holds. Is it possible you get a wick under that swing low there and then you stay? Yes, it is. We got 30 minutes left on the hourly close. SPX, notice how it's staying under that. I don't think you're going to get much more of a big move down, to be honest with you, but we'll see what happens. Bitcoin coming in to liquidate swing low. No, that's the wrong one. I want this one. I mean, that wick right there. We'll throw that on there, and then we'll throw one more here. Because if we liquidate that and then we get back above this, then we could potentially get long. Potentially. S&P, like I said, it just crushed everything. There's nothing here other than daily supply. I mean, demand. That's it. That's all we got. Daily demand. It's old 8-hour res. Old 8-hour res. Getting above it doesn't necessarily mean that it will be bullish. But, you know, it is 8-hour res, so it could hold 100%. Nothing on the 4, nothing else. Yeah, nothing. Nothing down there other than the 8-hour resistance. Bitcoin is trying to liquidate that swing low right there. It is at it. Get down there, liquidate it, then get back up. Show us your hand. I mean, that was such a stellar entry. You know what I mean? One could just sit there like that. If you do get bullish continuation on USD CAD, it is going to move higher. But what I'm saying is, I've already hit 1-to-1 on the risk to reward. I hit that earlier, but I just didn't do nothing. All right, since you're trading such high volatility, there was that liquidation. Let's see if we can get a little bit bigger of a liquidation than that. You did get a wick through, but so what I want to see now is I want to see it get up there, close up there preferably, because then we could potentially see bullish continuation. There we are at 1.1 risk to reward on that. We could potentially take profits if you wanted to right there. Maybe stop the break even, protect your cash. SPX still struggling there at daily supply, but more than likely it's probably going to get back above it. Bitcoin liquidated this swing low. Let's see if it can get back above hourly support. And then this is going to be, you know, dollar and CAD. DXY got a big strong push. Let me just go ahead and put that on screen for you real quick. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, this one. Big strong day for the dollar. Not quite a bullish engulfing on the day, but you are above resistance. And you are currently trading above the 21. So I would essentially watch the dollar resistance and the 21 exponential moving average today. If you start to get back under that, then there's, you know, you could maybe look to get short. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's a good number for the dollar. That's why it's seeing a bullish reaction. And Bitcoin looks like a bearish engulfing on the hourly though, so not really concerned with that. Dollar trading well above anything. Big strong day. So, I mean, we had this bullish engulfing day on the dollar. I mentioned it in the last couple streams and as well as on Twitter that, you know, typically that's a bullish signal. So if we go back to the daily time frame and look, you'll see what I mean. This was the entry or the price at which we would have been looking for the entry. And you can see how, you know, price was just basically trading right above it. That was like one good test. That happened during the London session. Once again, London session proving to be the trade of the day. You could have got long right there at the daily demand. And now you're seeing that. So, I mean, that bullish engulf trade that we called out was really good. The euro didn't have that going on. It was already above. It was already well above. See, this is it on the euro. So the way that you would have wanted to take that would have been similar to the dollar, but opposite. You would have waited and you stayed above it here. So this was a nice little trappy trap move there, wasn't it? Got everybody thinking that you were going to see bullish continuation, but this was the level that you would wanted to potentially short at. because that was the daily level. I just didn't have it on the chart. Bitcoin moving lower, much lower. Getting another liquidation stab under this. SPX pushing lower. Be careful on taking longs there, guys. I'm 20-1 currently, pound short. That ain't bad. Take profits. No, keep it. I mean, you probably already did take profits, but yeah, pound short is doing good now. Pound short is doing extremely good now. So good job, man. Or whoa, man. Good job, you. Nice. Swell. What is the status of ETH? It is back down, and it is currently at, it's not down. I mean, it's up on the day, but it was up 6.8%. Now it's up 4.8%. ETH is not getting such a big day or a big down candle like Bitcoin. So the risk is mitigated here. So I'm going to get rid of that because it doesn't really matter what happens from here on out, right? Whether it gets stopped or not. So here's ETH. ETH doesn't look nearly as bad as Bitcoin. But still, I mean, it's going right back down into the direction it came from, which is never good. I'll just do that. So that's weekly res in this week's open. That's what ETH is struggling at. Right? That's weekly open. I mean, not a bad place to look for long trades. The only problem is you don't have anything down here closer to manage that risk on. Right? Struggling to get under it. But it, looks like it's trying to. SPX just dropping like a brick in the water. Falling, and there's nothing for us to go on there. Daily support, I mean, that's it. That's all you got left. Would I buy that? Nah, I don't know. Maybe at 9:30. We'll look at it then. Get some calls on at 490 or 480. Probably 490. I doubt you get there. I mean, if you get back above this and you close back above this today, it's going to look like Monday. You're going to see a big bullish day. It just looks like it. I don't see anything too devastating happening on ETH or Bitcoin or SPX. Nothing. It's a big down day, but look, it's inside of this candle still. So it is in nothing. It looks worse because yesterday was a tiny day. Yesterday was the liquidation above this swing high as well. Looks like you pulled a retracement up to like the 618 and then down. But it'll probably get bought up at support if it gets there. And then what does it look like on the weekly? Oh, on the weekly, man, there's nothing to go by. That is a tiny week. So looking at the weekly, even if you were to close below daily support, which I highly doubt you do today, but even if you were, this still looks bullish. You're just pulling back because this is the first time you are testing weekly res. So moving forward next week, what we would be watching for either bullish or bearish trades, since we are getting a bearish day today, is we would watch 41.30 spot 50. So moving on into the week, next week, if this was going to continue to be bearish, we would want to see it stop there on any pullback up. We would want to see it stop there or potentially throw a wick up to daily res and then reverse instantly, like instantly. Bitcoin just getting crumbled. Getting crumbled. Let's fib it. You're at the 50 retracement. So your midpoint, the low from the low of the day to the high of day. It's not the low of today. This is the low of day. Right there. So that puts you closer to the 618. So you're testing the 618 retracement of today's range. You could still potentially buy that. Big down candles like that does not mean you're not going to see follow through. Right? I mean, there wasn't nothing to do up here, so a nice pullback into the 618 retracement of the daily range, as long as it holds, kind of like that for a long. Because, you know, we liquidated the swing lows of the range yesterday. And then you got a nice bullish reaction. Also, that puts you above your 200 week. So this was essentially what everybody was looking at. This was essentially what everybody was taking positions based off of. If we're under the 200, I want to be short. If we're above the 200, I want to be long. So last night, you liquidate the swing low. You get under the support we were looking for and an instant bullish reaction. Now you're tagging the 618 of today's range. I would like to see this be the low. And then it just start to trend away from it. And then this weekend will probably be sideways. So we're probably not going to resolve this weekly range. I mean, we've resolved to the upside, but we haven't resolved the downside. It's, you know, it's still going to be an inside week, basically. SPX breaking down on the 4 hour. Yeah, it's breaking down on everything. The daily's red. 4 hour, hourly, 2 hour, 1 hour, 5 minute. Everything's is broken down. You were a very small day range today. This was your high of day. That was your low. Well, that was yesterday. Never mind. This was your high of day. This was your low of day. So that range was very tiny. Very, very tiny. Let's get rid of the 200 week because we know where it is. 7 minutes left on the hourly close. ETH got below the level. I mean, bing, bing. That level is of importance, of interest, one could say. Yeah, Aaron, I saw the CAD data. Yeah, thank you, my friend. But yeah, I saw it. I saw it. That's a terrible miss on CAD data. Negative 30,000 jobs. Damn. And they were expecting 20,000 jobs, and they got negative 30. Owie. I don't see how people even live in Canada, to be honest with you. Getting much more of a push lower here on the SPX. This is daily support right there. I mean, that would be worth a buy just for the bounce, right? If you were to get down there just to buy it for a small bounce, nothing big, just a small bounce. And then take profits, maybe stop to break even. That way, if you get downside continuation, you made money on the trade. But in the middle here, I can't do anything with this. Nothing at all. Let's go see if I'm losing money on USD CAD. Yeah, more than likely, that's already been stopped. No, it hasn't. It's still there, but It's getting close. Getting close. That's the problem with trying to buy this stuff or sell it. You just have no idea if it's going to stop or not. SPX moving lower. So we're watching Bitcoin to see how it responds to this 618 with everything still pushing like this, that. Everything is just still pushing, right? It starts to look less and less attractive for anything. Short ETH 1700 here too. That was a good trade. Let me see over here. I would take profit because it's ETH still isn't like bad, right? It doesn't look like Bitcoin. How Bitcoin engulfed its previous hourly bullish candle, ETH hasn't. So where would that be? Right there's your 7 o'clock candles open. So you haven't even hit the open of your previous candle yet, and Bitcoin's trading a full 2 times bigger almost than its last hourly candle. SPX pushed it into an hourly level, an hourly ETH level that is just above daily res. Is it on there? Yep, it's on there. Sorry, I'm just doing a few things over here. All right, so maybe that's the low of day right there. We'll see. See how you're getting a slight bounce off of that level? That's what I was talking about, like, but down here at the daily, because you can get bounces like that and they're predictable. You can almost do it every single time. Not off of hourly levels, but off of, daily levels. The reason this hourly level is getting a bounce like that, it's because it's like the only bearish hourly candle since it had its move up. Since that candle was put in, you got awesomely bullish. So that is why you're getting a slight bounce from that. Which is good, right? Because if this thing does bottom out here or here, then you'll slowly drift up for the rest of the day, maybe. Not looking for continuation of bullishness, but that'll be Monday. If it's going to be bullish, it'll be Monday. The market could take this as bearish news because if the job numbers are good, then that means Powell can continue hikes. And hikes is usually not good for markets. So maybe that's why the bearishness, because it implies that we're going to see more and bigger rate hikes for the rest of the year. Maybe that's why the market's trying to price that in. But then, like I said, Monday morning, it could wake up and decide that's really good news. You know what I mean? Those are your high probable areas, though, your dailies and your weekly levels. Those are the areas to watch. Those are the areas to base trades upon. All right, let's go look at AMC. Well, we'll keep Bitcoin up there. AMC. I don't have pre-market data. Oh, I do, but it's getting crushed. It had earnings, that's why. It says it beat earnings. But pre-market, you're freaking down. Like big. Where's my pre-market data, dude? There it is. So you're gapping down on AMC. Let's see what we got on the daily. Taking the pre-market data out, not giving too much of a concern here. So the earnings was yesterday and it was a beat something happened because, it's gapping down. You don't really have any support until you get to 1454. You don't have any support till 1454. So you can't buy it here. I mean, it is possible that area holds because it's an old support, but I mean, I would much rather be a buyer down here than up there. And since it got beat up pretty bad, I mean, how do you sell off on a beat? How do you sell off on a beat? That makes no sense. Expectations, I guess, were higher, and they come in barely or just under expectations, and the market sells it. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do anything with it today. It's right in the middle of no man's land. It is possible to find intraday support 100%. That level currently to watch for potential longs, if you think it's going to bounce, intraday support is right there. 1666. So watch that price moving forward in today's session. And I don't remember what your other one was. Let me scroll up. Bear with me, I'm scrolling up. Looking for... My goodness, there's a lot of comments. Your live streams are as healthy for me as the essential water I drink. I have a bottle of Essentia sitting right next to me, my friend. I drink it too. I love it. Yeah, I don't see your comment because there's literally 1,000 of them to go through. So I'll put it down at the bottom of the comment section. So please tell me, what was the other asset you were looking at other than AMC? Because I don't remember it. Ford, that's what it was. Gotcha. All right, so here we go. Mr. Ford. Man, what a short that was we got this nice big breakout. It traded up there for a little while, and then boom, down. And it's been down ever since. I didn't think that I would ever see Ford above $12, to be honest with you. So when it got up to almost $26, I was like, geez. But you're gapping down just a little bit. I mean, to be honest with you, 37 cents was where you closed. You're at 13 pre-market. That isn't a big move on Ford, but it's essentially the same size as your day was yesterday. Ford barely moves. Barely moves. As far as, money's concerned. It's got so many damn shares out there. It takes a lot to get this thing moving. It's gapping down pre-market, and it looks like you're down below support. So, this would have been support, albeit very, very high support, because the last several days you just had a bullish monstrosity of a rip to the upside. I mean, a couple dollar move on Ford is monstrous. And that's the support that I would watch. The only other support is all the way back down there, or you could potentially watch this old swing high to see if it holds a support. Or we could go to the weekly and see. Notice how this day you opened here, traded all the way down to there, but closed back up there. So it did treat this as support. So this is the first price to watch. This is the second. You can't do anything in between that. Or I wouldn't do anything in between that. Right? There's another old swing high there, but that's just barely under where you currently, or where the current support is. So I don't think I would touch it right now. Just let it pull back. Once it finds support, then you can look for potential longs on it. Nothing on the weekly. pre-markets up here. Yeah, that's just straight bullish for the last 5 weeks. Leave it alone, right? 5 weeks is a big move on anything. Just straight up, I would let it pull back into support. Let it find the support. Don't just try to assume that this will be support or that will be support. You almost have to wait for price to trade back above it before you can even think about looking to buy it there. But if it's a long-term hold, I mean, is $15 is still expensive in my book for Ford. It's just because of the stock and it's the nature of the stock. Like I said, I never thought I'd see it above $12 because they're heavily in debt, like massively in debt. To be honest with you, I don't even know how they make money. Or if they make money. You know what I mean? They're heavy in debt. Not an asset that I hold in my portfolio. Plus, if the green, if the green politicians get their way, it's going to be illegal to drive a gas car in 2030 anyways. And, they do have electric vehicles. They have F-150 and they have the Mustang, which they turned into an SUV for whatever unspeakable reason. So, yeah. I'm not a big fan of Ford at all. I think there's better things to own. VIX still exploding. Yeah, VIX is going to move up because the SPX is moving down. It's pre-market, so I don't know if I'm going to get data. Yeah, it's moving. It's moving. It's common. It usually trades inverse to the SPX. Sometimes a little bigger, sometimes a little smaller. Is that an explosion? No, this is an hourly time frame. They're just 2 days ago you were trading up there, dude. 24.38. You're $2 away from that. It's not an explosion, just like this isn't an explosion. It's just, it looks big considering the range. But this was a very small range day. So like if you look at it on the daily time frame, you can get just an idea of how big it was of a move. This candle is still trading inside of this candle. It's not that big of a move. Now, to be fair, this candle liquidated the bullish candle's high. So getting a pullback now is, it's okay. We'll need to see what happens Monday. That'll tell us the true story on the SPX, right? If we break down below daily support, then we'll be shorting it back down to 39.90. And you're still, more than likely, you're still up above the uptrend. You're right at it. That's kind of a steep trend as well, but yeah, if we lose this support on a daily closing basis, we will be looking to short into resistance up in here. And this is that weekly level that we already discussed. So if we close below 40.93 today, Monday, we will be looking to short 41.30, spot 50, as that's weekly res. And then you could potentially roll over and get right back down to here, 39.88. But we can't do anything with it today. That's kind of a parabolic trend almost. Not really, but you can see just how steep it is. And trend lines will get broken eventually. All it takes is a sideways market to break it. And just because that trend line gets broken, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a short either. I don't put much weight on trend lines. I put the weight on the horizontal levels. Because prices ranges. Each candle is a range. So I look to trade those ranges. And if we lose that support, then I will assume that it wants to find a lower area for support. Bitcoin closed above the 618, back down testing it currently. There is an old swing high there also, so more than likely it's not the 618. More than likely it is this. Right? That's your last resistance. And there was the breakout. So more than likely that is where the orders are setting, not so much the 618. The 618 will help that, obviously, but so let's go back intraday on this. Intraday, you're already below it, the trend line. Oh, but look at that. See, TradingView, you suck. If I tag it to the low of day, it should be tagged at the low of day intraday. What the So that's where it is. It has not broken the trend line just yet. Just yet. This is the price that I would be focused on. This one, daily support. A close below that today would signify, yeah, probably going to be looking for bearish trades moving on into the week, next week. Bitcoin will be, today's Friday, so Bitcoin will still move over the weekend, but it's not going to move much, more than likely, depending on where the CME closes. So we can pull up the CME real quick and just see where it currently is, what it currently looks like. There's your CME. CME didn't even get as big of a move as Spot did. Let's look at the weeklies. Let's get rid of that. I don't know what that is. So on the weekly, you're trading inside of the week, and right there is going to be support, 22,830 on the CME. Daily support is under it. And we took out this high today. But the CME might find support right there if it gets that low today. If we close under this today, then that will be a close below support on the CME. And that will have us looking for, probably more bearish trades. Nice little push back under this wick. See if that happens. It's probably going to. There it is, right there. Let's get this back over on the SPX. On the hourly. Yep, I took profit on pound dollar, 1.2032. That is fantastic work. Fantastic work. Good work. That is awesome. That is a nice trade. I mean, 20-to-1 risk to reward. Who could complain about that? Ford had something. I don't know what you mean by that. This rally was totally based on the idea that we hit peak inflation, but big job growth suggests more inflation. Film Garden, if we have a recession, that will eat up the inflation as well. So keep that in mind. Also, that's probably more or less what the market was looking at. Not so much, probably the Fed, but also knowing that the inflation will also help with inflation. Did I say inflation will help inflation? Recession will help with inflation. I took profit. That was fantastic. I went long Bitcoin, $23,000. That's not a bad price. I mean, it's a big figure number. It is a big figure number. Not a bad price. Will it hold? We'll see moving forward. We closed above here, which is above this resistance. So this candle closes above 2. It'll start to look a little bit better, like you're going to see a bounce. But as long as the SPX continues to trade like this down here at the lows, maybe you're going to see more lows today. Is this going to be the low intraday? Well, it's not the low of the day. The low of day would be here. But, 618 retracement of the daily range is right there. So, 23 grand. Yeah, big figure number. Not a bad place to look for entries. How far are we below it? Not very far. I mean, $50, $40. This range is so small. I mean, seeing Bitcoin move $50 and it looks like a candle like that is a shame. It just sucks. Markets have been sucking. I only pop in, drop for trade forward. Okay. Don't show your trades, Heath. You'll get banned. From what? YouTube? No. I work in forward. This is paper money anyways. It's not real money. It's a paper account. I don't show my open P&L, like my real funds and stuff like that. But I thought other YouTubers did it. I work in forward. Nice. The NA business makes enough money to keep it afloat. Yeah. I mean, they got to be making money because they're paying how many employees? 500 trillion. Obviously, that's a little bit of an inflated number, but you know what I mean. They employ a lot of people, and they own a lot of properties, and a lot of their revenues are generating a profit, or the stock would be going down. So when I say that, I just, I'm being like facetious or strepious. I only pop it. Got you. Wes puts more weight on himself. Wes, did you jog this morning? Or are you stuffing your face with donuts and chocolate milk? Do you ever use Heiken-Ashi candles? No. Nope. Never. I look at candles for what they are. It's a range of price, right? I don't need indicators or anything like that to kind of tell me what's up. To be honest with you, I could use the bar candles and still be just as efficient. It's just a range of price. I just want to know where the open, high, low, and close is, because that's what I use to base my trading decisions off of. Let's get Ethereum back over here. So, but the good news is the Aussie dollar short is working out really good. Look at that. Boom, baby. And we discussed this one the other day. Right there, remember? Remember that? Remember? That was the short trade entry. If you didn't get it up here with me, this was the place to look for entries. Look what you got going on today. Fantastic stuff. You almost have to do that in FX, right? You can't just be short the dollar on everything. You got to take, short dollar. I was literally longing the dollar here, but over on USD JPY, I was short the dollar. And it just works out. It just works out. Try the lock button. Not sure what you mean by that. ETH daily rising wedge. We could look at it. I'm not a pattern trader, but I will look at it for you. ETH daily rising wedge. I guess from there to there, maybe. There, or more like this. Something like that. Yeah. I mean, typically it's looked at as a bearish pattern. Rising wedges are typically looked at as bearish patterns, and one could argue that Bitcoin's got the same thing going. But Bitcoin's been trading inside of the weekly range all week, and it has been very obnoxious and annoying, especially because we're trend traders. So we're literally looking for trending candles to make money on. So when you're not trending, when you're just bouncing around from top of the range to the bottom of the range, meanwhile liquidating old weekly highs, old monthly highs, it becomes annoying because finding a direction is difficult. That was a big number on the NFP, that big number. So the market could be taking it extremely bearish for a couple reasons. One, like I said, that means the rate hikes are going to get more expansive, which the Fed has already said they're going to be data dependent. So they don't have any rate hikes planned. They have rate hikes planned, but they're not going to be like 1% hikes, 1% hikes, 1% hikes. Based on job growth, though, the market could assume that the Fed might, because that means the Fed has more wiggle room. Remember, they're doing the rate hikes based on what the unemployment number is. So they've already said that they don't mind a 4.1% unemployment. Well, we got a 1 point tick lower on our jobs. So last month we were 3.6%. We were forecasted to hit 3.6%. We actually got 3.5%. So that gives the Fed 0.1%, essentially, to continue with rate hikes because the job numbers look good to them. That's why you're seeing this more than likely. But like I said, the market could end up deciding that that's actually good news. It will tackle inflation. Not quite sure if we are considered in a recession or not. I didn't get the numbers. I thought we were waiting on GDP numbers to say if we had positive or negative growth, and no one has told me as such. I really don't care that much about fundamental news like that, but if we're negative GDP again, that means we're in a recession. But still, nobody is saying that we are in a recession yet. They keep saying stuff like if we are in a recession, or if the recession ends up, or if it becomes a recession, or any of that stuff. But like if it's based on 2 negative GDP growth, then it's a recession. That's what we used always in the past before Biden became the president. That was our metric to show recession. 2 quarters back-to-back negative growth. But who am I, right? I'm just a lowly trader on the YouTube. Low, not in, more downside incoming. It's possible, but Boris, please understand something. I've been doing this for a long time, and I know for 100% certainty that you don't know that. You can say it, and then if it isn't, and we do get a new low, then you can come back on the stream and say, ha, I was right. But I know that you don't know if that's the case or not. If it is, all you would have to do is just short everything, right? No stop loss at all, because you think it's in or not in. That's fair. That's what makes a marketplace a marketplace. It's people with differing opinions. ETH is just now took out its previous hourly's low. So ETH's still up 4.1%. Bitcoin's still up, even though it looks ugly, still up on the day 1.65%. SPX down 1.1%. That's perspective. 1% down on the day on the SPX is not bad. Oh, not bad. I just hit my desk drawer. I broke my ankle, so I just eat donuts now. That's a lie. You're a liar. Wes is lying. Ed, Wes is lying. Kick him out. Just kidding. Don't do that. Good job numbers. Fed clearly needs to tighten more. Bearish. Right. Yeah, we've already stated that pretty much. I was in the boot for a few weeks. Now I got to eat more. Gotcha. They aren't going to say it until after the fact anyway. This is true. Yep. They're data driven now, so they're just going to wait until they look at data, and then they're going to make their decisions based on that. 100%. We got the market open happening in 7 minutes. So we're still going to keep this thing up because that could change everything. When the market opens, you could literally see this entire move reversed. And that's what we're waiting on. Can you explain why earlier this morning volume profile showed the point of control for lower time frame 5 and 15 in the lower portion of the day's range, and the hourly POC was on the upper? No, I can't. That is TradingView's fault. So like, did you see how when I put this trend line on the daily lows, daily low, I tagged it to both daily lows, and then I jump into intraday price and it's now up? You know what I'm saying? It's TradingView. It's their fault. I don't know why it does that. But if I tag it to daily lows, when I go jump into the intraday time frame, it should still be tagged at the daily low, but it wasn't. It was up in here. So that's about the only thing that I could say. But also something to keep in mind, your point of control will change throughout the day. So 9:30 is getting ready to pop up. Once 9:30 happens, for like the first half hour to hour, you're going to get the majority of the volume, or the rest of the volume for the daily range. And that will be the end of it. And that could essentially change the point of control. depending on where that all is. So let me get rid of all the drawings, and let's put the point of control up, and then I'll make it large screen so we can go look at it. So right now the point of control is essentially midday, or well, it's in the upper echelon of the daily range, because this right here is your daily open. This candle, that's when your daily open was. And there's not a whole lot of volume happening here currently. Now if we go into the 5 minute, if we just put a line right here, it would just drop a line right here. Try to get as dead center as possible. Well, that's close enough. There we go. Perfect. Dead center. That's the point of control. We drop into the 5 minute. It's still there. It's in the exact same place. So maybe it was just a hiccup on TradingView's part. But you can clearly see, because that, I mean, this tool is fantastic because you can shade that area a different color or make it, you know, more bright. So that way you can actually see. Right here it is. See that? And then that's your daily range. This is your high of day. That's your low of day. Right? Pretty cool. So that's the open. So your 5 minute open actually set the low of day on the open. And then see ya. So like if you fib that from there to there, boom, you can see that you're trading just above the 618, which could still be bullish. You could still get bullish continuation from here. Will we? I don't know. But it is definitely possible. Definitely possible. So we just keep an eye on it. The market's getting ready to open. We don't need the point of control because I know where it is. I always look where the point of control is before I start trading. Just, you know, because it kind of helps me to get an idea what I'm wanting to look for. Like if I'm looking for longs on a bullish day and the point of control shows like at the high, I'm probably not going to be looking for longs, right? Because the majority of the volume's traded at the high. That typically is a good signal that you're probably going to see a pullback, at least a pullback. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, it's just TradingView error. That's all you can chalk it up to, my friend. TradingView error. Some exchanges don't give TradingView their volume numbers. Some exchanges keep that stuff secret because it's actually proprietary. So you won't get volume profile on all exchanges. Like Forex.com, for instance, you will not get volume profile on any asset traded on Forex.com because their volume is proprietary. Are they, you know, what are they doing? Why is it like that? Why don't you show us what your volumes are? Are they pumping their numbers or whatnot? Who knows? I can't imagine why anyone would want to hide their volume. But yeah, it's just it's the error of TradingView. Won't be a recession until after midterms flip Congress. Good evening, Heath. Good evening, Bradley. Good hello, Michelle. Late to the show today. It's all right. Don't let it happen again. Just kidding. All is good. All is good. So we're waiting on the market open. We got 1 minute for the market open, and we're going to see Bitcoin do big old spike to the upside. That's what we're going to do, right? If we speak it, then that must be true, correct? Having my hair did, getting my hair and nails done. There's nothing wrong with that, I guess. Fantastic. BTC touched 2-day demand today. We have a bullish engulfing on the 8-hour. Now it's trading at 8-hour demand, also 618 on a day. Yes, like I said, this move can absolutely be faded. We'll see what happens when the market opens. Right now is the market open. So let's see what happens. Let's see what we do's here. We can absolutely fade this entire move. What is going on here? And that's what you kind of want to see, right? Because we liquidated the swing lows yesterday. We did exactly what we wanted to see right through here. It was a beautiful thing. It was a thing of beauty. Thing of beauty. VIX is still pushing up a little bit. I think the volume on... No, it looks okay. Let's see if this gets sold off. But this is 15 minutes behind, so there's no point in even looking at it. All right, so let's look at something else. Let's put ETH over there. We got SPX up. We got ETH there. So let's NASDAQ or something. Let's go get the NASDAQ. That's the tech. We want tech. Show us tech. What am I looking for? Here, I'm looking for that. And this, no, let's do the E-minis. Man, tech got beat up. Beat up. Tech was, pulling back a little bit yesterday too. Man, that's a bullish engulfing. Just bear with me a second here. Ooh, look at that. Man, it's all the way above its weekly res. Technically, the NASDAQ could pull all the way back to 12,677, 75 and still remain bullish. That is hopeful. So you could completely wipe out this week's gains next week, all week long, and then the following week get a massive bullish rally. So we'll keep our eyes open for that. And let's see here. We could pull up like a legit tech stock. I got it over here, I think. Nope, this. Gap down. Why isn't the pre-market hours on everything? It should be on everything. So tech gap down, that's from the news, that's okay. SPX getting a slight little bounce here. And tech's been bullish. So this could just slowly fade all the way back up today. And, nothing changes. Literally nothing changes. So we'll see how that plays out. Bitcoin's still holding that 618. Oh, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to look for your 8-hour demand. Yep. You're right. Right there it is. It's also the 618, like you said. I don't look at the 8-hour candles very often anymore. Simply because I'm just trying to get the daily range nailed. But yeah, there you go. You're pulling back halfway into the daily range. That is not bearish, not by any means necessary. Bitcoin does trade a lot with tech. It resembles the NASDAQ a little bit more than it does SPX, but it's actually been lagging. I am long calories. Wes, don't you know that calories is a bearish market? You should be bearish calories. Jeez, man. What is wrong with you? Yeah, we read that. And then, hey, Michelle, send a pic. Oh, my goodness. Getting perved in the chat. Nice. Yes, that's the internet, ladies and gentlemen. No simping in this chat is allowed. Nice and blonde. You're not helping that Inet could... Nice and blonde. SPY reacted off hourly demand. Yep, it's this candle right there. I had it up earlier, but I didn't want people to get distracted off of the daily support, right? But yes, it bounced off of that level. And like I said, you can trade that. It's a tradable event. It is absolutely 100% a tradable event. Right now, you'd be taking your profits and you'd be moving your stop to break even. Right? And then boom, shakalaka. It's a winning trade, even though you're against the trend. or against the near-term order flow. But once again, this whole entire move could get faded in the next 2-3 hours. It wouldn't be surprising to see SPX trading out 41.60 by the end of the day. Is it going to? Probably not, because that was a big number. But people are going to be looking to sell this right now. And the same goes for Bitcoin. People are going to be looking to take a sell trade from now until 11 o'clock. So they're going to be watching resistances. What is this? I don't remember. I've looked at too many things and I've done too many things. It is the weekly res. Let's get rid of that stupid trend line. So people are probably going to look to take a sell trade right there. And I can't say that I blame them. You know what I mean? This is a look at the drop, how it like made it the midpoint. That's weekly res right there. So like if you get up there and then fail, you might not see it fade. You might see it roll right back over. That's a good level to watch either way. Whether you're buying puts there or what. This 8-hour candle closes in 2 hours too. So that'll be nice to see where does it close. And that doesn't really line up with anything else other than the 8-hour. Yeah, it's old 4-hour resistance. That's confluent. That's a confluent area. I'd love to see that hold price. I'd like to see Bitcoin hold there and by Monday be trading $24,000. Get out of this weekly range. I want to trade a different range. I'm sick of this range. I got long 29,950 Bitcoin. So far you're doing okay. Somebody else got long at 23,000. They're kind of still probably got negative P&L going on there. Even though it's up, you got fees associated with trading these things. We'll be fab next week as I will be in Antigua. Is that vacation? Nice. Going on vacation. I got long at 29,950. Happy days. Enjoy. Yes. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Go diving for sure. Yeah, do that. TNX and a 2-year bond pump. Let me go see. I know I got, there it is. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly the opposite of the SPX. This thing is still under the 50 though, so could be a good short on it. I mean, it looks like it wouldn't be, right? Because, man, what a strong day. But at the same time, you're in a resistance. Never mind this thing. This down here, which I got to fix. Son of a bitch. Why do you do this to me? Why? Don't want to know RSI. And this has to be a line, and it has to be white. This way people can see it. Right here. That's your 50 on the RSI. You're under it. That's still technically you could look for short trades. And it's into resistance. Watch that price. 282. You can trade this with puts. You can just, I don't know if you can short it depending on how much funds you got in your account, but the stupid day trade rule, hate that stuff. But yeah, you could look, watch this, see if it holds as resistance, my man. Oh, this one, 1 hour. You're already above it on an hourly closing basis, but if you notice right there, you have hourly resistance, and that you didn't close above. See that? So just because you get an hourly close above a daily level doesn't necessarily mean that it's out of whack. That's the level, because that's your actual resistance inside of the daily range, and that has held. If you close above it, then you're probably going higher, and I wouldn't look for shorts, or I wouldn't buy puts. Nice pump on the 20-year, 10-year, 2-year, 5-year. All of them pumping a little bit. You liquidated that swing high on the 5-year. Doesn't really work like that. I understand that, but it is what it is. There's junk bonds. You got to push back. This is more of like a risk-on thing. iShares 1 to 3-year Treasury bond down. 7 to 10-year down. AGG, the aggregate bond ETF, down. LQD down. MBB down. MUB down. Here's the Fed funds rate. Interval is not applicable. Well, of course, I know. Still stuck at 168. I think this thing is broken, to be honest with you. This thing never moves. It's always there. So some things are looking on the up and up, and some things aren't. All of your stocks are red today. Most of them. AMD, Amazon down. Ford down. Facebook down. Fiverr, Google, Intel. Jets are always down. Ever since COVID. MicroStrategy's up 1.1%. That's because Bitcoin's up 1%. Mara's up because Bitcoin's up. Twitter's up barely. Walmart's up barely. Yeah, a lot of stuff red today. SPX struggling at the weekly resistance. So let's just write this on there so everybody knows what it is. Right there. If the SPX struggles to close above that, then you could be looking for more downside today. I mean, this still works the same way as a daily, and hourly can close above a weekly level, obviously. But, I mean, that's where a lot of orders are going to be setting. If they think, like, if market participants are getting ready to become bearish, I'm not even joking when I tell you this is the level to watch. Not even playing. Ethereum is still trading above its weekly open, so that's still a little bit bullish there. We got below it there briefly. I mean, just look how price reacts to that weekly level. Bing. Traded a little bit above it there. Bing. A lot of orders sitting there. Are they bearish or bullish? It's anybody's guess. Point of control is below it. So Ethereum's still structured like it could be a bullish trade still for today. And it's still up 4%. Oh, another plus. All right, guys, if you're not aware, if you want to trade Bitget, trade Bitcoin, we use the broker or exchange Bitget. It has the lowest fees out of all crypto exchanges. They have no KYC. Their platform is fantastic. It looks cool. It's not clunky like other platforms are. They have no scam wicks. There is an affiliate link down in the description. If you want to sign up, it's free to use or free to sign up. You can transition from cold storage into the exchange and then back from the exchange into cold storage seamlessly. There is a link in the description. Make sure you use referral code XTSC. That is X-Ray Tango Sierra Charlie when you sign up. And thank you very much for all of you that have used that link. I really appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. So basically all we're doing is we're waiting to see if Bitcoin can get anything going here at the 618. And as was astutely pointed out in the chat, it is also 8-hour demand. Old 4-hour resistance. It's not quite 4-hour resistance because this candle should have opened exactly on that candle's close, but it doesn't look like it did. It's really close. Close enough. All right. So that's why you're getting 8-hour demand, a 4-hour support, or it could be support. It is old resistance, and old resistance sometimes turns into support. Let's see what we got on the 5-minute. Still not really doing much of anything. SPX still stuck. Where is the SPY? Obviously it opens down, and also my data is not up there either. Grr. There we go. That looks better. Bitcoin breaking down below that. It's got to hold it. If we start losing it, start trading away from it, it's not going to look good. I want to see that hold. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. This is what we want to see hold. So, I mean, technically it's okay still. This looks like you're going to see downside continuation on the SPY. Let's see where the SPY's... excuse me. Let me see where the SPY... You're under... So that's the open of the week, and then here is the close of last week. So technically, SPY has fallen. Looks like it's going to close lower than it closed last week. That is if it can't get anything going. And then here are those levels. 5-minute time frame, intraday traded right down to that. That's the weekly open. That's this week's open right there. That's the only two levels I got on the chart. Weekly res, weekly open. This week's open, last week's close. And we're trading in between them. I do want to see it get back above 411.99 to maintain its bullish posture. That's all, just to maintain the posture. Let me see. TNX 2-year bond pump. Yeah, we read that. I don't trade them, but I just keep an eye on. Yeah, I don't trade bonds either. Do not trade it. I don't have an edge in it, so I don't trade them. I don't trade futures either, like on stocks and stuff like that. Like I don't trade the E-minis. I don't trade any of that. I trade options. So I like to use the options on the SPY or options on the SPX. You got to be careful on the SPX because those options move quick and you can get wrecked hard. So SPY options are much safer to trade, and they have so many. The option chain is just so thick, so many options to buy or sell depending on what you're doing. But yeah, and then I'll trade low float penny stocks sometimes. Probably never on stream, but we'll talk about them if they pop up. Let's see if you got anything flying today. Haven't really been much doing anything this week. This is up 100%. Currently getting beat up. Jesus. QNRX is down 62% on the day. Ooh. Oof. That is rough. And then this thing got a nice little pump. We Trade Group? I've never even heard of this. What is this? We Trade. They're getting clobbered. And this thing moves too. I mean, if you get highly leveraged up on this, you're going to get hurt. Is it stalled out there? It's probably... it just looks like there's no volume in it at all. It doesn't look like that on Thinkorswim, but could be halted too. Who knows? Yeah, it's probably halted. And there's your biggest volume gainer on the day. No, it's not. This is... Wait a minute. Why wouldn't it line them up correct? Oh, nope. That's percent change, volume gains. Oh, there it goes. It just didn't update. This has got more volume in it than anything at 17.44 million. A lot of day traders all over this for whatever reason. Pineapple Energy. You're under the liquidation spot. So, I mean, right now would be the time for this thing to get going. If it was going to get going, it needs to stay above 407. As long as you're under 407, I don't like it to the upside. I do not like it. It's got to get above that before I would be interested in taking a swing at it. We'll see if it holds. Can you look at BYND? Absolutely. Nice. Getting a nice little pump this morning. Contrary to other stocks. And they had bad earnings yesterday. So you look at that. Bad earnings, it's a miss, and you're going higher today. Let's look at the daily. Get some levels here. That is a big candle. Nice, big, strong candle there today. You're coming into resistance, also supply. Coming into resistance, also supply. We'll just mark it out, and then let's look at the weekly. Above weekly res on the weekly. There. Ding, ding, ding. Those are your levels to watch. That's the resistance. This is daily demand, and that's daily res. Now you just tag daily demand. Bitcoin, that looks good. Now, on stocks, I don't know so much that they react as good as like FX does and crypto, or the SPX. It just depends on how much volume or how much liquidity is actually in it. But yeah, would I take a short there? No, because you had bad earnings yesterday, and today this is a short squeeze or something. I can't imagine why you'd miss earnings and then now you're above like a long time swing high. Couple days. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days highs you're above currently. So I would only have to imagine that once you got above this, that kind of triggered a short squeeze. If it's going to last longer, you should be trading up above $37.99 today. I wouldn't short it. It's got a lot of momentum today. And also, I mean, looking at the weekly, it looks like last week was your pullback week. But let's be honest, this whole candle, this whole week is from today. It's because of today. All the other days are trading under or around the midpoint. So it looks like you've triggered a short squeeze essentially. People were looking to get short probably right there. Right there. And that's probably triggered the squeeze. So you could continue. If you fail here or there, then maybe the next day or so you could look. BYND, I mean, it's in a lot of Burger King, Subway, or is it Subway or no, Dunkin' Donuts? I'm not exactly sure how many stores they're in, but they have their product in stores, and those stores are nationwide. So I mean, they've been missing a lot of earnings, and I don't know what the cause of that is. So like, if we just scroll out here, not really concerned with price, you can see this is when they IPO'd. There's your IPO earnings. That's first one's a beat, miss, beat, miss. I mean, I don't know why they keep missing guidance. Why can't they guide their earnings correctly? It doesn't mean they're not profitable. It just means it could be a managerial thing. Who knows? But if we look at the daily, I mean, it looks really, really, really bad. I mean, you are off almost 90% probably. Let's go all the way to the lows. Yeah, you were off 90%. You're currently sitting at 83% off the highs. It's bad. Really, really bad. This thing was trading at $220. Now it's trading at $30. It's almost, I mean, it's bad. So just be careful with it. If this is going to be the bear market lows on the SPX, on Bitcoin, on risk, is it possible that this remains the low? Yeah. If they start beating earnings, that could help their case a little bit. So this is actually, yeah, I mean, this is a big point of resistance here. It's got to get above it, and then you come right into another one. So you got several pieces of stuff above it. Here you are on the 50. You hit overbought. You came down, down, up. Right? Daily support held there. Then you traded up, got in another support, but it's a higher support. Today opens lower and crushes everybody. Yeah, I like it. Just I wouldn't buy it here. Down here, potentially, yeah. Down here, for sure, I would pick some up. But not where it currently is. You can't chase price. You just can't chase it, man. It doesn't ever work out good if you try to chase price. Like if you're trying to buy a 5-minute high, you're likely going to lose money. Not always, but like in a lot of cases, I see a lot of scalpers do that or try that stuff. You know, they set a buy limit order above the previous week day 5-minute or 1-minute high. So literally they're breakout traders. Each breakout, each new subsequent breakout puts them in a new trade. Where do you risk? What are you risking? Where do you put your stop doing that? It's just difficult. When I do this kind of scalping, like if I'm scalping intraday on a 5-minute chart, I'm looking for levels to see if support's holding them. Like the same way that I trade Bitcoin or SPX or Ethereum or any of that stuff. I trade it the same way, every asset the same. I'm a pullback trader. I like to buy support. I like to sell resistance. It's the best way to do it because you get the tightest entries that way. Instead of getting long here and taking profits there, you could have potentially gotten long down here a day or two ago and still be holding. All right? Because we know that daily support's down there. And then up. That would have been the best trade. The best entry, even. Has been 100% accurate in predicting recessions. Yes, I know that. I don't trade the... Okay, read that. Hey, can you look at BYND? We're doing that. You have to click apply to all instead of okay. Oh, gotcha. Thank you, Andrew. I kind of realized that after I got to the last chart. Bummed I have to bounce. This has been a great... Yeah, it's fine. We're getting ready to wrap it up here in a bit. 10 o'clock, I don't take any new entries, and Bitcoin is struggling. It's not getting anything going. SPX still red on the day, but it's also, you know, at weekly res, what did I tell you? That weekly res is going to have some orders setting there. We want to see, if we want to continue to see bullishness, we need the SPX to close above weekly res today. Closing below it is going to put it in jeopardy for being a short trade next week. Right? And the same can be said for Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is currently red on the week. Ethereum is not. Ethereum is trying to stay green on the week, but I mean, it was there for 5 minutes. It was red on the week. It is still green, and it's trying to hold it. Bitcoin's red on the week, so either way, we're okay. We are 100% okay with this. It's an inside week, right? This is the price we want to see Bitcoin's trading above. We lose that, then we're bearish. As long as we're above this, we got to be bullish. And it's as simple as that. So we want to see Bitcoin hold this level right there. Would be fantastic if it happens. Get on up there, SPX, SPY. Looking bad. It's looking like it wants to get shorted too. This is different because I'm on a different thing. Let me go back over here. These are the two levels. So this we need to spy above. As long as you're above it, like I said, fading this move is 100% possibility. Below it, then it looks less likely because this level, people are taking shorts right here, right now. That is weekly resistance. You can guarantee people are buying puts and they are just simply shorting the outright. You're under this day's candle still. It's a big gap down. So a test of that swing low is it could likely bring in new sellers. Will they win or not? Depends on where we close. It'll tell us if they won or not. Since you don't know what's going to happen, if you do want to short the SPY, 412.44, 411.99, those are the only two places that I would look for short entries. If I was going to short this, I would short it there. But I have a bullish bias. You're still green on the week, and you still got a long ways to go to be red on the week. I would love to see it close higher, but that's the level to get short if you think it won't. Right there. And you even have a place to manage your risk against as of right now. I wouldn't go ahead and enter the short. I would want to see a push away and then come back in and fail. Taking a short right here, right now, the risk is going to have to be... it's going to be hard to get a risk. Yeah, I mean, I would just throw my risk up above 412.44, like 412.89. That's probably where I'd apply a stop loss if I wanted to short this. Remember, it's trending up. That is bullish, guys. That is not bearish. Order flow is bullish. And you haven't even taken out this supports over here. But if you like it lower, if you think this is the top and you're going to close red today, that's the place. And being a paper account, I could short this. I don't know how to do this, so let's just do it like this. Stop loss risk 1. So what would that be? 50 ticks. How do you do 50 ticks on this? What is up with that? I don't like that. I don't know how to calculate that. I want dollars, man, not ticks. Dollars, dude. What's wrong with you? So like this doesn't show me that this is a short yet. Wait to see if you get weakness back under it, and then see if you tag it again, and that would be the entry. But I love seeing that. Bitcoin's back up 2% on the day. Not great, but better than down on the day. Ethereum, still green on the week. Pushing back above 1679.31. That's the level in the sand. The line in the sand for Ethereum. SPY's pushing up. That looks good. You've almost faded the entire move on SPY. 414.45 be a fade. Would have been faded. Processed food is in vogue, I guess. I don't like it because I'm a meat eater. I like steak. I like pork. I like everything. Chicken, turkey. I like meat. I love it all. Roasts, steaks, burger, you name it. I like it. Brisket, bacon, bologna. I like it all. Good morning, everyone. Appreciate the new time slot. Heath, enjoy the weekend. I will. Swissy yen long crypto vet USD short. All right, Swissy yen first. I was looking at this the other day, and I did agree with it. And let's go over here to the daily. Let's see what it is. You're getting above it today. Stokes it looks good. You're getting above it today, but you're still in that zone where maybe it does, maybe it don't. You're right at the 21 exponential, so it's one of those things where like, yeah, it looks good today, so it'll be based on where did you get long. If you're looking to get long right here, right now, my answer to you is no. No. There is no daily resistance that has the opportunity to stop it in its tracks, but the 21 is there, and bots and algos take trades based on that alone, right? So when there's no dailies, you get in here and you look for smaller time frames. You're above the 8 hour. There you go. You're right into a potential supply. With the daily 21B in there, I would not get long there. You should have got long down here at support. Not here because, you broke down there. But when you came over here and you tested it there or there, would have been your buying opportunity. Nowhere else. Right now, you would be taking profits. This could absolutely tag that and then roll over 100%. Just because you're testing the 50 on the daily or just barely above it. Depending on where it closes today will determine whether or not you're above or below on that. So like most of the things we were looking at this morning were all at that crucial zone where it could slightly be bullish or slightly be bearish, and everything went the opposite direction. Right? It's just one of those things. But it looks fantastic today. Hopefully you're taking profits and not trying to get long right now. And then VET USDT, you said. You didn't tell me what exchange, so we'll just use this. It's nice and strong today. Been strong all week. Let's check out the weekly. Yeah, I mean, this thing's been bullish for 3 weeks. Right here, getting above that resistance level would have had me looking for long entries. Right there. All right, so you can see this week you got well under it. So, I mean, obviously that's that random market violence I speak of all the time. Here is daily support. Notice you did not close under that. So that green bullish candle would have been the day that I would have been entering this thing. Not this day. Let the day close back above. Then I would have told everybody. I'm not dropping any frames at all. It's just OBS is being stupid. I might have to uninstall that thing and reinstall it, which sucks because I have so many settings in it. But yeah, so there's nothing to do on VET now. You're chasing price if you try to get long up here. You're also coming into a very big region of potential resistance, like tons of it. So just wait for the pullback. Wait until you test support first. Next area of that is going to be 0.2693. Wait for price to trade back to here, and then watch how you close around that. If you push under it, if you want to wait to see, does it close above or below? If it closes below, then the chances of looking for longs there is going to fade, unless the next day you get a bullish engulfing, and in that scenario, that would be a buying signal, but not that day. The next day, it's just one of those things, man. There's nothing to do on it right now. It's a joke. Yeah, I know it was a joke. I own a barbecue restaurant. Nice. What state? I love barbecue. I love all meat. Bitcoin moving up. It's looking good. Looking much better. Let's get it back on the chart. So for you people that got long down there, man, good job. I like to see it. You like to see it. You're also like currently getting above an area where you would potentially be looking for shorts. What is that line? What's that for? Is that daily res? Weekly? It's literally nothing. Get out of my face, line. This line, please. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at that daily candle. That is not bearish. Not even close. This is a bearish candle here. This is a bullish candle there. It's bullish, man. It's bullish. I'm going to love it when this whole entire move gets faded. Love it. Hey, PMI at 49.60. Yeah. Did we get that? What time was that? I don't even see it. For some reason, this doesn't have it. Oh, there it is. Wait, that's Canada's PMI. I don't know. Where was it? What do you think about FTMO? Is that a ticker or is that a prop firm? I can't remember. Prop firms are good as long as they're not robbing you You know what I mean? If you can be consistently profitable with real money, it doesn't matter if it's $100 account. Like, prop firms don't give a crap about how small or big your account is. What they care about is, can you consistently clock percentage gains? That is it. If you can do that, then I have no problem with people doing these prop firm challenges. The thing is, you know, they're essentially your pimp. So, I mean, if you don't mind giving them 50% of your winnings, because, you know, you can't make a big enough trading account to make a career out of your trading gains, then yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with it. In fact, I mean, some prop firms out there are so good, it's hard to get into them. I don't really like the ones where you have to like pay them first to become in their prop firm. To me, that's just the shady side of everything. If the prop firm's legit, if you can show consistent profits for like a 2-year record, there shouldn't be any prop firm in the world that wouldn't give you a job, right? I mean, let's just think about it. If you're consistently profitable for 2 years, say you did 14% last year, say you did 30% this year, then they're going to look at that at an average and say, well, maybe we can get 18% out next year, and so on and so forth. So any prop firm should be able to give you a job. But if you got to pay them first, I don't like that. It is what it is, though. It's just my opinion. And in general, prop firm. Oh, so that answered my question right there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just pretty much answered it. Some of them are good, some of them are not. You just have to do your research. You just got to do some research. I don't talk or look into prop firms because obviously, well, I don't want to, right? I'm not giving them my money. But for people that can't or don't have enough money to even open up a trading account or make consistent gains, then yeah, for sure, there's nothing wrong with it. 23,280 is my first profit for Bitcoin. Hold hourly res. 23,824 target. CAD. Trade talk 10 minutes ago. Well, see, it showed. Oh, yeah, it was. Okay. I got you. Well, we tried the USD CAD short. It did not work, but now it's working. But it's after it smoked the stop. That got me right there. Yeah, so this move can be completely faded. Where's USD JPY standing? Oh, man. That sucks for my short position. But, I mean, my short position is all the way up at the top. Right up there. So, I mean, it's still in good shape. And we wanted to see USD JPY pull up into weekly demand or supply as well. That's where we're going to be looking for potential new short orders on USD JPY 136.075. That's a bad looking candle though. I mean, yeah, you were all the way down there and you're all the way up here. So, but if it holds that, we'll look for it there. You also got a daily res just above it, so you can focus on the daily res or the daily supply as well. A daily close above. Wait for the next day, see if it's a trap. If it's not, leave it alone. Trade setups can take a couple days to set up, to really set up good. BTC 1 hour bull trap res check. Bull trap. Yeah. I guess one could consider that a bullish trap. Yeah, because you broke out and then you instantly sold off. But we wouldn't short that, right? Because Bitcoin is strong today. If that would have happened and it was, you know, like a weekday, then yeah, that would be the place to short, especially if it fails there. Right there. If you get back up to the complete resistance level, then it's going to look a lot much like not so good. This is your weekly resistance, guys, on Bitcoin. It's right there. Right there. Weekly open. It needs to get above this. Needs to get above this. Needs to get above that. In hindsight, what a short trade off of that. There you go, Bitcoin. Go, baby. Go, baby. Go. Nice. 22,973 is where one entry is on mine. Then I got another one on the Coinbase or Coin M futures on the Bitget account. 22,958 spot 50 was the other entry there. Because I bought it off of hourly res. Right there. That's what I bought it off of. Boom. Hoping it would hold. And it has. Boom. Take profits, guys. You're getting close to resistance here. Let me do some of that myself. Yeah, because weekly resistance, I mean, people are going to try to sell this based on what they just seen happen. They're going to say this is another rejection, and they're going to try to sell it. And, you know, given what we just accomplished yesterday, that's why I'm bullish. Just like I was a bearish when we did this and then that. So, but now that we've done that and we've gotten back up there, I'm bullish. How high can it go? The sky's the limit. Hopefully, the sky's the limit. But go ahead and take profits if you did take that trade. Whoever you, when you said I'm long 23K, go ahead, take profits right here. Anywhere in here, do it now before you get a big ugly red candle that goes down and smokes everybody. Take profits, move stops. Take profits, move stops. To break even, and then just set in it the rest of the day. Spoil sport. No, only joking. I'm bullish. Gotcha. Hopefully the sky's the limit. I mean, there's a lot of resistance above it, but to me, this just tells a story. Price action always tells a story. I know it's random and all that, but I mean, come on. We have been all over this market all week long. Not just like a couple days. Monday, we took a trade live, worked perfect. Tuesday, we took a trade live, worked perfect. Wednesday, we didn't. That was a stream that wasn't public. Thursday, we did. We lost that trade. And today, not really a good day for trading. It didn't. Nothing worked the way we wanted it to, but we are still taking profits and moving stops. Can't complain about the week we've had. Been fantastic. Next week, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to reinstall OBS later on this evening. Maybe that fixes everything. And so far, so good. That's an ugly 4-hour candle, but a beautiful support check. Nice bounce. That's your weekly resistance level. We got to get above that. If we do, next resistance, 23,852. And then on up into 24,523. Right? Because technically, we did break out. I mean, if you want to look at trend lines and all that jazz, we did break out here. We did retest it. No good. Retest it. Boom. So kind of sort of held. Right? Kind of sort of held. And then if you look at this one, right there. Yeah, this is a 4-hour time frame. As long as it holds that, man, we can look for bullish entries. We could see price get all the way back up to there. 24,500. 4-hour res. It's got some resistances in the way to get through first. But this looks good. Looks like this slow, methodical pullback could potentially be over. That's what we want to see. You guys have been a fantastic crowd. Thank you so much for being here. Damn, we got 784 views already. That's got to be a record. And it doesn't show me anywhere. Oh, wait. What is this? Oh, we hit 120 people. 122 was where we topped out. Nice. We're going to wrap it up. We've been going for a long time, almost 3 hours. I know people are probably tired of listening to me. Guys, take profits if you took that trade. For the rest of you, it's going to be like this for forever. So, yeah, it'll be good. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time. Make sure you guys trade safe. Make sure you trade smart. And as always, happy trading, everybody.